So, welcome to the podcast, Morgana. I am so excited to have you here for Money May because you are known to the people in your space as the money goddess. And it just lights my heart. So, your mission statement that I've been finding, or what you stand on, is making money fall in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about how do we make money fall in love with us and why does that matter?
Two things are coming up. I would say my missions would be to heal the rift between heart, spirit, and money. Because when we're fighting, when doing good deeds and having great relationships and having a wonderful, yummy, easy, fun lifestyle, and everything you value and all the people you want to help and protect is on like one side, and money is on the opposing team, nobody wins. Like if you have to and it's always love, lifestyle, and legacy for me. If you have to sacrifice any of that, if you can make tons of money doing horrible things like, increasing pollution, increasing disease, increasing starvation, inequity, any of that kind of stuff, selling cigarettes or arms or whatever, that doesn't make the world a happier place for everybody. That's not wealth, in my opinion, in my work, my worldview. If you have to sacrifice great relationships and love to make money, that is completely not wealth. And if you are making millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars and billions, and I've coached these people too, and your relationships are crap and you're overworking and you don't have free time and you aren't having a good time and you're worried about losing it and you're waking up at night, that is not wealth. That is just an extremely fancy version of poverty. So my trick is to get love and money on the same team and partnership, because then you get rid of a lot of your unconscious motivations to get rid of it. And it sounds really weird, this idea that unconsciously you would want to get rid of it. And let me just say, I am 55. I've been coaching 28 years. I've coached thousands of people. There is nothing that I am going to say today that I have not tested exhaustively on real people with real results of real dollar amounts, going more and more and more frequently into the millions and the tens of millions and more. So, by the way, even the clients who came to me who already had millions were in real fear of losing what they had, and they weren't crazy. It's when money is a monster in our lives, and it is a monster in most of our lives, especially those of us who really care about others, and we want to be good people. I'm not speaking to the psychopaths. I don't think that they are showing up on this podcast. There becomes an inner conflict. We don't want to be that bad person. We don't want that drama. We don't want to be a target. We don't want to be the bank. We want to be loved for us. So there's a lot of painful associations with money going back to birth. We don't know it at the time. We don't know it when we're babies, but any conflict that we had with parents that, if our experience of life wasn't safe, we didn't feel loved, valued, protected, worthy, that was our first experience of money, was our experience with our parents. So all of that kind of unconsciously over years and years, anytime we didn't feel safe in the world, loved or valued, it unconsciously goes to what represents love and value and safety and power in the world: money. So we've been building, especially as do-gooders, we build this unconscious antagonistic relationship with money. And then we wonder why we don't have it, why it comes with a lot of drama, why we make it and get rid of it really fast or painfully. So for me, I am sort of a law of attraction failure. Plus add, excellent, good girl, overachiever, national merit scholar, even with a brain injury. You graduated from a very fancy East Coast college with a religion degree, right? Yeah, take that to the bank. And And then, collected half a dozen different coaching certifications. I'm not just a master practitioner of neurolinguistic programming, but I'm a master trainer to teach other coaches how to do it, and a ton of other technologies. And it didn't matter, because no matter how many skills I had, or even celebrity clients, or dazzling results, or all the classes that I took in marketing and selling and taglines and overcoming sales objections and online marketing and public speaking, and I'm a good student and I would like get A's if they were giving A's for all these classes. Drum roll, please. I was living in Los Angeles with all this going for me, and I was struggling to make $100 a month. Beat that. See, I'm even competitive in failure. Yeah, I can see your jaw dropping. Really, truly, like, oh my God, so painful. Doing everything, taking more classes on marketing, taking more classes to get more skills so that maybe then I could get paid. And the weird thing is, I had actually a really good reputation, especially in the entertainment industry, which is where I started coaching. And within weeks, clients without credits would get TV series and movies and all sorts of like crazy thing that isn't supposed to happen that quickly. But it was like I had this superhuman power of money repulsion. Like I should have a superhero suit with a giant R on my chest, because people would want to hire me and I would talk them out of it with no conscious awareness of what I was doing. And it wasn't even the words, it was the energy. I would get so uncomfortable when people started dancing around the question of, well, what do you charge? Also, it took me years to figure out that how do you work means what do you charge? And I would just automatically, and my apologies for dumping all this on you, but I am speaking to the toughest case out there who might have some of this come up. Is I would feel all this like guilt and shame that I was charging money to help people because I wanted to help people and I didn't want to hurt them. And I was afraid that if I was taking their money, I was going to hurt them, that they would be homeless, destitute, on the street, and not get any results. And I didn't want that on my conscience. So I was really, really poor, living like on credit cards and borrowing. If there was an Olympic medal for like how to fail in business, I have it. So I was taking all the business classes, all the marketing classes, and I'm in Southern California, one of the woo capitals of the world. So like I did the rebirthing thing. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Doesn't work for me. I have friends who like wave their hands and change your money DNA. Didn't do a thing for me. Of course, I had vision boards and affirmations and like all of that. And I'm making $100 a month. And I'm telling people I can help them with their lives, and I'm making $100 a month. Can you feel the discomfort? I'm sorry, I'm just wallowing in this, but that's the before picture. The only thing that changed it after failing at everybody else's thing. And by the way, if you are doing everything you're supposed to be doing and you're failing, that is a clue that you are protecting yourself from what you want. Spoiler alert, not only did what I'm going to teach you ridiculously dramatically change my relationship with money, and really immediately. And by the way, I've made millions of dollars since then. But I used the same process on my relationship with love when I was 45 years old, never married, with a 100% success rate of romantic failure. Like, and I had been looking for the love of my life since I was 4.5. And I did the same thing on my relationship with love. And I met my husband 2 months later, and we are 26 weddings deep into getting married 100 times in 100 countries, 100% his idea. So, and it was infuriating because my business was like going gangbusters, and I would hear myself teach what I'm teaching you here. And I'd say things like, if you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and you aren't getting the results that you deserve, then you're probably protecting yourself from it and you don't even know it, and you have really good reasons. And I would hear myself say that, and then that really annoying voice in the back of my brain would go, that sounds like what's going on with you romantically. And I'd be like, shut up. And then finally I did the same process on love, and I met my husband 2 months later. So the process, what I teach is not law of attraction. Although I do believe in a tendency of attraction, I also believe you can have the best freaking fantastic thing in the world happen when you want to kill yourself. Okay. And crap can happen when you're happy. So life is nuanced. It's not all your fault. But you do have the ability to respond, and that is fantastic. So the person who's in the most anxiety and misery right now has a huge advantage. I hate to like say some of you are better off than others, but the person who is like, take me off the planet now, I know what that's like. You actually have a step up on this process. And I'm not a sadist, despite sometimes appearances, but I'll tell you why. What I'm teaching is based on alchemy. Alchemy is the transmutation of lead into gold. For my purposes, lead in human experience. And it's any lead in human experience, not just the stuff that is obviously about money, and actually especially not the stuff that is obviously about money, because money is the surface, but it's the love and safety and am I even wanted here stuff that really like churns in our gut as human beings. That's the most painful stuff in the world. And that's the lead in human experience that we turn into gold. So my law of attraction friends, this works for you too, but you have to make some adjustments. And the first thing is we take off your positive thinking, high vibe hat. You can have it back later, but it will prevent change right now. It is the enemy in this moment. I kid you not. As your coach, I'm saying, take off your positive thinking, high vibration hat and hide it in another room. You can have it later. What we want to do is we want to dig up the lead. We want to, in alchemy, they called the first step, the negritio. It is the separation of the lead from the gold. If you have like positive feelings and negative feelings about something, you've got what I call money mud, and you're just stuck and nothing changes. So we want to create polarity because there's no magic in neutrality. We want to create extremes. So we want to go dive into the deep end on the stuff you don't like, the stuff you're pissed off about, especially, the stuff that you're frustrated about in your own life. And then we want to go even deeper, and we want to go into like, what has ever made you feel unloved, unsafe, or unworthy, or powerless in your life? Parent stuff, since they were your first money, that's a good place to look. If you have great parents, friends, teachers, boyfriends or girlfriends, business partners, anyone who betrayed you, including yourself. Accidents, illnesses, eating disorders, especially for women. I had one. I know what that's like. That is, an eating disorder is suicide. It is, I want less of myself here because I find myself so unwanted and unacceptable. I want to disappear myself, and it's the most deadly. I guess they call it psychiatric disease. I'm not a doctor, but I had one, so I know how dangerous that is. That's actually a really good thing to throw in there if you have any of that, because as women, our value on the marketplace, our financial value, our wantedness is so freaking tied in culturally with our appearance. and our ability to pretzel ourselves into some arbitrary, bizarre, inhuman, not us mold. Fuck that. Okay, back to the process. So step number 1, it's a 6-step process. I call it financial alchemy. The first step is uncover the root cause. And the root cause of your money problems is not about money. That's the symptom. The root cause is the stuff that money represents, the stuff behind the problem behind the problem, which is anything that has ever made you feel unsafe, unloved, or unworthy, or powerless. We're really talking about your relationship with life, but we're going to call it money for a reason. For one thing, because we want to see financial results, because you can't really separate life from money, especially in the West. When you have built your critical mass of ick, the world is a horrible place. Animals are being abused. Humans are being abused. Our planet is becoming uninhabitable. Pick your poison, throw in your, the stuff that wakes you up at night. People aren't hiring me. People are rejecting me. I had another bad date. Whatever that is, throw it in until you're like, hell, get me off the planet. However, you do not have to go so far that you dissociate. We're not here to re-traumatize you. We are just here to create tension like a slingshot. We want to have as big and bad and awful and infuriating a pot of ick as we can. And then, and this is going to drive all of your other coaches insane, then we're going to blame it on something completely outside yourself. Ooh. And it's not going to be your parents, no matter what your parents did. And I have heard stories about parents that wake me up at night. So we're going to, through just a creative leap of imagination, take all that hurt, all that fear, all that rage, everything that you don't want in your life experience, that you don't want to have any purchase on this planet. You're going to put everything you want to reject into this huge, powerful person who is focused on you and focused on hurting you through all of this. So if your parents were monstrous, this is the monster who pulled their strings. And you want to make it real so that you have a full body experience. People love to talk about money mindset or change your money stories, change your life. Great slogans. Like for me as a marketer, great. Doesn't change shit. Or bupkis. I like that word too. It doesn't. We could talk about negative money beliefs for 30 hours and it would be fascinating. And it doesn't change you. We need to speak to we're working with the subconscious because that's where all of your beliefs and attitudes and automatic behaviors arise. So you've got this horrible monster, all bad, not you, not your parents, because step number 3 is you're going to annihilate this monster. I appeal to a very soul-centered, spiritual, peaceful, nonviolent crowd. I am one of that crowd. I have a shocking number of vegans in my tribe, my following. So when I get into, you're going to annihilate and destroy this monster and it's going to be as bloody as possible. This is not the usual language of my tribe. This is not, pardon me, incidentally, what I expected this process, this is not how the process started. It's only because I've coached so many people and I've seen what worked and what didn't. And I saw what worked really well and what didn't. I'm kind of cramming 20-something years into as short a period of time as possible. I want to give you as much transformation as I can. By the way, I know that every business coach under the sun says, teach the what, not the how. Screw that. I'm teaching you as much of the how as I possibly can. And I'm also putting in my energy transmission with it because I know that my clients, first of all, I don't want you to be destitute or like being evicted or in like some horrible situation when you come to hire me. I want you to have like an amazing miracle breakthrough and send me an email that I can like post all over the place with your permission, and then go on a week-long retreat with me in Mexico or Bali to take it to the next level. That's way more fun for me. So I like want to give as much as I possibly can away because you guys make the best clients. So anyway, my client Pam, by the way, my book, no, remind me to talk about Pam later. So anyway, okay, so destroy the monster. What it is, my mom was this big fan of this TV show called The Highlander back in the 1980s. I don't remember it except that it involved cute guys in kilts, which I'm like 2 thumbs up for. And there was a slogan, there can only be one. So here you've got this entity, this relationship dynamic with life that has existed all this time to basically suck out all your joy, all of your reason for wanting to be alive, all of your confidence, all of your hope, and just kill you in a really slow, miserable way. When you have dug up everything that has ever made you feel unsafe, unloved, unworthy, if you've done your job and you dug deep enough, it will feel like this person really wants you to die and will go after your kids in front of you too. You don't want to pass this on to your kids. You can throw in, the dramas with your parents and grandparents, and or family histories of genocide. Armenians, Jews, Blacks, there's plenty to draw from. Anything that made the world unsafe. And you want to give yourself a really good reason to slay the monster, make sure that it's completely gone. I have no idea how much time we're using, so I'll move on to step 4.
No worries.
Okay, when the monster is gone, you'll know it. You just check. Is it really gone? Oh, is there a little left? Blow that up. Melt it with acid, whatever you want to do. Stab it. Make sure there are just no bloody bits that can reconstitute into some zombie monster. Just gone. You want it energetically, wow, this is empty. And then you need to fill that space before some other monster comes in. So when you've annihilated your monster and you've rejected everything that you don't want to be in your life, everything, there's a real power. It's like for us women, the goddess Durga from India is a really great model, or the Bodhisattva from the British Isles, the Queen, or any of these goddesses who have that warrior energy. But I, especially being the religion major, I'm really into the the Durga Kali types, because she slays ignorance. She slays the obstacle. And that's what you're doing. You're saying, I choose me and I end you. You don't get to live here anymore. And when it's gone, it's like so powerful, so self-affirming. When everything you've rejected is gone energetically, there's only space for one thing, and that's love. That's all that remains. So you're going to have a new relationship with money, and I'm going to use air quotes, money with a big wink. You can call it life. You can call it love. You can call it whatever your, whatever the monster was for you. Just follow the energy, trust yourself on that. I call it money because when I had my own sort of accidental experience of this the first time 20 years ago, I knew I needed a new relationship with money because I lived in LA and I had just gotten rid of the only relationship with money I had, and that wasn't going to work. And I wanted to fill the space because I could feel the vacuum. And I didn't kill my monster because I didn't know to at the time. So I knew that I needed to fill the space before the monster came back. My new relationship with money really surprised me because it didn't feel anything like money. When I asked myself, who could I want in my life and feel safe with and trust so much that I'd be willing to have a relationship with this person, even if it's money? What showed up was this beautiful, tall, dark, handsome, romantic young man in a tuxedo, carrying a bouquet of red flowers, wanting to woo me, which blew my mind. That was so weird. Like money wanting to woo me. My whole life of money was, money is the root of all evil, and, fighting and breaking up relationships and causing wars. And here was like this really nice guy who just wanted to hang with me. So your new relationship with money is not going to feel like money. It's going to feel like a god of love or a love partner. It's not going to be a cat or a dog or a horse. And I only say that because when I first, immediately after I finished my transformation, the next day, 4 people hired me at double what I'd ever charged before. And they being humans, I thought, oh, I should try this on them, and then wondered why it didn't work. It works now. My client, Anna, did my goddess retreat in September. She had been stuck for years and years and years and years, so frustrated, such an overachiever, did the TEDx talk, did the best-selling author thing, still not making money. She made $1.2 million in 4 months after my retreat. And,
wow.
And we worked, we dug so deep for her. So yeah, I put that out there because everything I'm saying sounds so freaking airy-fairy. And I have to just say, oh my God, every woman on that retreat made back her investment and so way beyond, and so I say that, and I'm not trying to turn that into a sales pitch. It may sound like that, although if you want to go, but seriously, I want to ground it in context because a lot of people make a lot of promises, and I'm hoping that you will have an experience on your own directly from this. So I'm pouring as much as I can into it. So I'm going to go back into that. So when the monster is completely gone energetically, there is space for a new relationship. But you can't jump over the monster to it. You really need to go through it. That's where the change happens. And then you have this new relationship with a person who loves you. And what you'll notice is the person feels incredibly lovable for their own, just as themselves, not because they're money or they're going to buy you anything. As soon as you get into that mode, it's suddenly a monster and you're helpless again. Instead, it's like this hot honey, guy, girl, or they, it doesn't matter. Whatever your flavor is, who loves you more than anybody in the world. When the monster is gone, suddenly this feeling is possible. You've got somebody hot who is so excited to save the world with you and is so turned on by you and is so much fun. By the way, I am so into this right now because I'm like the queen of this thing. I just slayed my own money monster 2 hours ago, and I have this amazing new money honey of my own. I just do that periodically when I want to take a jump. My new money honey looks like John Ossoff, just saying. Okay, so that's the first time I've had one that was vaguely political, but he's such a cutie. Anyway, you can cut that part out if you want to. And so we're going to go back to, so you've got this very human feeling honey who adores you, loves you more than anybody in the world. And you actually don't have to make him or her fall in love with you. So the title of my topic is totally misleading. When you get rid of the monster and you meet your honey already loves you unconditionally. However, you have the body, you have the power, you are the gatekeeper, you can push that honey away. So while this person loves you, that person may not stay with you unconditionally. So it's very helpful that when this new money honey, this person honey, this money person that lights you up, fills your heart, makes you gooey, you can ask. And I encourage you that your first question, your first conversation with your new money honey, and this is now step 5, is having a dialogue with your money honey. Step 4 was meeting your money honey. Now you dialogue with your money honey. I always like to use the question, what do you need from me so you can stay with me? Again, not what do you need from me so you can love me? What do you need from me so you can stay with me? That is that is a very empowering question for you, because it gives you something to act on. And then you take action. That's the final step, is you take action. And here's really, again, everything I'm teaching you is sort of counterintuitive and only based on coaching thousands of people and seeing what works and when it works. Up until this moment, it's all been very kind of abstract. And well, it doesn't feel abstract. What clients always reflect back to me is, oh my God, that feels so real. But it's still conceptual. And money is, deals with the physical world, and so when we want to see physical, tangible results, we need to take a physical, tangible action, because it kind of takes it out of the ether into material. This is just basic principle of magic 101. So you get to negotiate with your money honey what that action is going to be. And this is an action that's going to let your money honey know, but more importantly, let you know that this relationship has changed and you're committed to it. And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with money. My client, Grace, is it Grace? No, sorry, different. Terrible with names. So one of my favorite stories is a client based in Canada who, she had been struggling with money and debt and all this kind of stuff. And we slayed her terrible monster. And she had this really juicy, great new relationship with her money honey. And her money honey wanted her to go skating. Katie. Now that's, sorry, skating Katie. Okay. In December in Toronto, where it's really, really cold, but fun. And it didn't make sense. But it was like her money honey was really clear. I want you to go skating. And so she didn't take action the first day because she was so worried about money and trying so hard to make money, and nothing changed. And she didn't take action. She wasn't keeping her word. She wasn't having integrity in the relationship with this new relationship with money. So she didn't go skating and nothing changed. The third day, and I kid you not, and by the way, I have all this recorded. She went skating with her little 10-year-old boy, and they had this beautiful heart connection, like heart opening. And she went home and she got a phone call offering her and giving her $10,000 without her even asking. And now she lives in Mexico, which was her dream. And she's this extraordinary coach for, multi-talented sort of Da Vinci types. Ooh. Some people are like really, really constitutionally suited to just doing one thing and staying in one zone of genius. And some people would go crazy and can't live that way. I can see you're the latter. In neurolinguistic programming, I would bet money that you are difference oriented. Difference oriented people need variety. We can stay with one thing for maybe 2 years and then we need to switch it up.
2 years is a long time.
Right? Yeah. Like very sameness oriented people are the person you want working for you for 20 years and they are like super happy. It's not a better or worse thing. It's but difference oriented people are better suited to careers that have a lot of variety. That's why I love coaching. I have different clients. If I get bored just one-on-one, I lead retreats, where I invent my own variations. So she really speaks directly to that. Katie Curtin, if you want to look her up. Anyway, so that was just the beginning of her journey of making money. And so that's just an example of you have to take the action, even if it doesn't make sense. I had a client whose money honey told her to stay home. She was going to go on a trip over the weekend. She stayed home to do laundry and got a phone call and a $20,000 client. I don't know why it works that way. It's just, honestly, it's a magic spell. And if nothing else, it's really teaching you that you can be trusted, that you keep your word, and that the relationship is different. And the most important thing is that your relationship with money and your relationship with life has changed so dramatically when you change your money, you eliminate your money monster, and now you have a money honey, that the dollar amounts, which I love to drop because, they're so much fun and they give me credibility, but it's frosting. You've changed your relationship with your own value, your relationship with your career and your place on this earth, and how you just feel about life changes. And people respond to you differently. I had a client in her 70s, and immediately after we changed her relationship with money, she was walking down the street and strangers were handing her flowers because she was just like radiating that kind of self-love. Here I am. So I like to think that the world, the universe, when I'm going to get all spiritual, which I have a tendency to do, I like to think that the world gets our attention for our own evolution through 3 primary teachers. By the way, whether you believe in God or spirit or don't, doesn't matter. Atheists of the world, I love and embrace you. It doesn't matter. Just these are useful frames for dealing with the shit shows that show up in life, because it's part of the contract. It's just they are. Yes. Not in your life. Get on Twitter. Life gets our attention through primarily money, love, and health, and some more than others for some of us. If money is your, what I call spiritual teacher, whatever, personal growth teacher, evolution teacher, whatever you want to call it, congratulations. If that's your teacher, that will get your attention faster than any of the others, because it touches absolutely everything in your life. There's nothing. Self-esteem, playtime, spirituality, romance, philanthropy, good deeds, whatever, there's just nothing that is not touched by money. The reason I teach what I teach, financial alchemy and this whole money monster, money honey thing, is because I've been coaching 28 something years now, many thousands of people, and money is the number one excuse human beings give for what they can't have, do, or be.
Ooh.
And it's an issue for people with hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. They have their own wake up in the middle of the night panic attacks. So I believe we are all on a journey to have a life that is free to focus fully on love and lifestyle and legacy. I believe that the only purpose, the only really true healthy purpose for money is to support love, lifestyle, and legacy. And all the other stuff is just sort of like addiction and disease. So it really doesn't matter whether you're on public assistance or you're a billionaire, because I've coached the range. Human beings are, we have the same kind of core issues. Am I good enough? Am I loved? Am I powerful? Am I safe? Am I good enough? How am I leaving the world? All that kind of stuff. So what I would say is, wherever you are, you have to address your relationship with money. It is a perfect mirror to your relationship with life. Even if you have tons of money, but you've got drama, that's still an issue. Wherever you are, you want to get a really good relationship with money now, so that as you make more in perfect alignment with your values, with healthy relationships, with a wonderful, sustainable lifestyle. You have more resourcefulness to face the challenges that happen, because challenges do happen. But you get to do it in partnership with this hot honey who adores you, who you can see things through this person's eyes, and like take a vacation from your own neuroses for a few minutes, so that you can have and keep and contribute more and more. And that is wealth. I think that's a good place to pause.
That's I'm like, whew, that's a lot. There's so many things there. And I think that the way that you describe money and it being the relationship, there's so many things that, like, my brain was like, ping, that shows up in my life. Ping, that shows up in my life. Ping. Okay, I'm glad I ordered her book yesterday, because I know that I need this. So can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Okay, full disclosure, I wrote the book that I needed and wanted. I was invited to speak at a big event back in 2006. And this is how it works, is I found out that a bunch of my friends had booths and speaking gigs at the Conscious Life Expo. So I immediately went into whining mode, but I've never heard of it, but I want this. Why don't I have this? And within 24 hours, I was offered a free booth and a speaking gig at the Conscious Life Expo, which created the next problem. Was I had nothing to sell except coaching, which is like proposing marriage on the first date, and don't do that. So I knew that I needed to actually put together the book that had been on my mind for years, because I had created this manifestation system for myself, which took me from being very, very frustrated to overachieving all of my goals year after year. And so I had my own system for that. And I had this material about changing relationship with money that I wanted to be able to deliver without coaching every single person on the planet. So that was when I first put this book together, and then just over the years really, really improved it. Pamela, who I told you to remind me about. So I'm going to hold up the book for the camera for the people on YouTube. So Pam had her first $250,000 sales month using my book before I ever coached her, before I even knew she existed. Just doing it's actually, this is my husband's copy, so it's full of his writing and his bad penmanship. So it's half book and it's half self-coaching system. And if you go to Amazon, you can get it at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, any bookstore in the world. If they don't have it, they can order it. But if you look at the reviews on Amazon, you will see all sorts of like wild success stories from people I never actually coached. So that is my way of being able to worry less about all the people who I'm not going to coach directly. And then if you're like Pam and you have, happy results with the book, and then you show up and you want to hire me, now she owns the company that she made those sales for. Then it's really, really fun to coach with you. I mean, you don't have to go through the book. You can come directly to me. But the book is because I can't coach 7 billion people and I don't want to. I also am more expensive than my book.
That's good.
Right? The book is a lot more accessible. And was there anything else? Oh, right. And when you get the book, this is a big secret that you won't know about on Amazon or Barnes and Noble or any of those websites or bookstores. Inside the book, okay, what you will know is free gift inside. And there's a link to an audio class, because obviously my voice can convey stuff that's not on the page. But there's another bonus that nobody knows about because it's not in the book. If you go back to my website, morganarae.com, really easy. It's just my name with a .com at the end, Morgana Rae, spelled RAE.com. And you go to the book page, enter your name, your email address, and your receipt number, and you will get an extra bonus, which is a 2.5-hour Q&A call that I did. Because while I try to anticipate any questions or misunderstandings that you might have by like teaching you like a French goose, just like shoving down all this information in a really short amount of time. Questions are going to come up when you do the process yourself. And the questions you come up with are so much more fascinating than anything I come up with. That's why I love the Q&A call, because that's where you're going to find people on the same path as you, asking the questions that somehow I didn't answer. And I want you to have that. So when you get the book, come back to my website and get the bonus Q&A call.
Oh, I love that. I can't wait for my book to arrive. I think Amazon said tomorrow. So I'm like, yay! I'm gonna start tomorrow because I'm ready to have a love story with money. I want my really hot money honey.
Well, the book takes you through the process that I just shared with you, plus the audio class, plus, you can always rewatch this interview too. I try to do all of it to give you all the tools I can for you to have a successful outcome on your own.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the book is, how do you stay on track? Because it's really easy when you've just laid your monster and now you've got this cute honey who's in love with you, and you can hear his voice or her voice, and you're full of love and you can conquer the world. And then 6 months down the line, you haven't talked to your money and you've been taking him for granted. And it's if I just said I love you to my husband 8 years ago and never said it again, what kind of a happy, sexy marriage would that be? It wouldn't. But it's easier to remember to coo all over him because he's physically there, right? Your money honey isn't. So you need something to remind you to stay in relationship day after day after day. So I designed it to spend like a minute a day for the next year to check in with your money honey, love on yourself, achieve goals, and make magic happen.
Ooh, make magic happen. Oh, yes. So if someone were to, you just kind of gave us the answer, but if someone were to walk away with just that one like quick mic drop moment, what would you want them to remember?
Oh gosh, I always get stumped at that one. So, because I think in mic drops, I like to say that change happens at the speed of safety. So if change hasn't been happening, it's because it hasn't been safe. So it's not that you're wrong or there's something wrong with you. It's just hasn't been safe. So we want to make it safe. And then it's like your foot's off the brake and you're moving forward and the world is coming to meet you. Sometimes way, way faster and bigger than we can ever expect. But we just want you to have a great experience of life. And the money is really the frosting. It's just the experience of life, loving you, welcoming you, wanting you, and being a safe place for you to be who you really are.